You're laying in bed home alone at 3 AM. What sound would be the scariest thing to hear at that time? The front door being closed and locked. Then the screech of furniture being made into a barricade. To keep you in. Or to keep something else out. Either way is scary. Excited laughing with full speed running footsteps towards your room. C. Is this child laughter or adult laughter? I can't decide which one would be scarier. Ah. Well. I'm deaf. And at that point the hearing aids are out. So the answer is yes. Anything I could possibly hear. That'd be a plot twist. Total. Dead silence. I live in a dense city. Even at 3 AM. There's always the sound of traffic. Of nearby air conditioners. People headed home from the casinos. If I hear complete. True silence. A hell of a lot of people are dead. That'd make for an interesting movie. Your voice saying I'm home. After the sound of a car pulling into your driveway. Could make a decent plot for a short film. I hear when a tornado is close that it sounds like a freight train. That would be pretty ducking scary sound to wake up to. Sudden fast footsteps. This needs to be higher up. Duck that sound right to hell. I live in an apartment and I'm pretty sure my upstairs neighbors has kids or something. Occasionally I will hear sudden fast footsteps like someone running around upstairs and it'll wake me up. It takes me a minute to realize I'm in the apartment and not my old house. I lived on the bottom floor and if my roommates were running around like that late at night, something was definitely up. Weird thing is, I've never once seen my upstairs neighbors. And the footsteps sound loud enough to be a full-grown adult. It'll happen randomly. Any time of day. Sometimes I think there might just be demons up there trying to duck with me. A grown man scream right in front of you. I've always felt like it would be scary as absolute duck just to hear someone cry mid-air like that all of a sudden a couple of inches in front of your face. Like the femur breaker scream. Knocking on the window. Gets louder every time. All the windows in the house get banged till you go mad. Glass breaking. Someone is coming in. Buggored. It's stone cold. It's stone cold. Literally anything scraping against the window as I'm honestly just a little itch. Edit, you guys really gave me 2 silvers? Thanks. Edit 2 thanks Kriliku for the 3rd. Edit 3, you guys are wasting silvers on me. You should probably stop. We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. You're eligible for student. Just a person quietly saying hello. Oh boy. The babophone was defect and we could hear our neighbors from their babophone. That was nightmare fuel. Imagine you are sleeping downstairs and suddenly you hear a lady speak on that babophone. When I was a baby, my family were in the kitchen and I was upstairs. And they heard a woman singing a lullaby on the baby monitor, so my mum ran upstairs and I was asleep. Turned out there was interference between our baby monitor and someone else's, but oh boy. The muffled sound of Michael Jackson going hee hee. The sound of an old style Jack in the Box playing Pop Goes the Weasel from the basement. That gradually gets louder and louder the closer it gets to the ending. By the time it gets to Pop Goes the Weasel, it's right outside your door. My name being whispered. Scary in an exciting way. Edit, thank you everyone for sharing your experiences here. I definitely enjoyed reading them all. You're either real lonely or real suicidal. Dude, I remember it was around 1-2ish AM just last week I heard some rummaging under my ducking bed. I looked down and my backpack was legit moving as if a small animal were tugging at it. Thing is, that's completely understandable because we have a rat problem. But rats never go in my room. I looked down under and smacked the backpack and nothing came of it. I'm sorry to tell you, but it seems you might have a mimic infestation. Please burn all chests, backpacks, and other wooden holding furniture. Yes. I remember the good old days when the mimics would sneak into my room and hid as object just to try and kill me as soon as I wake up. Yes. Those were the days. Live the reference to pray BTW. A Nazgul screech. I'd ducking die. Slowed down. Bass boosted Thomas the Tank Engine theme. That's when you know Thomas the thermonuclear gom is coming. Edit. Why the duck do you all like this so much? I wasn't expecting my first 1K comment to be about an edgy meme. Despacito played on bagpipes. I don't know why, but this made me smile. The dryer when the towels bunch up too much on one side so it sounds like someone is literally dying in the laundry room. Thump 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 thump. My room is in the basement. The dryer is through a thin wall maybe 3 feet from my head. Duck if it ain't scary to get thump 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 thumped after falling asleep. The sound of a mosquito flying towards you. You can't run or hide. But you slowly get out of bed to avoid being bitten. You creep to the other side of the room to turn on the light. As once you can see, you can locate the mosquito and kill it. The light flickers on. But the mosquito isn't there. It will never be there until you turn off the lights. As surely it was all in your head. And tuck yourself snugly into bed. Until you can once again hear the low and agitating humming of the blood-sucking bug's wings as it starts to come towards you again. Did you just make mosquitoes scary? Wrestling from my parents' room. 16 years old. Told my folks I'd be spending the night at a friend's house. My sister was out of town with friends. My brother was also doing a sleepover at the next door neighbors. My host got sick and his mother sent me home. We had a rule that when the kids got home from being out, they had to check in with mom and dad. Yup. Walked in on them. Full on doggy style. That was almost 40 years ago. Still seared into my brain. What did you say? A footfall in the hall outside your room or just above your bed. My upstairs neighbors always drop a heavy ball on the floor and it sounds like it's in my flat. The first time I heard it I got really freaked out by it, but now it's just normal. He's conditioning you. Imagine a ducking ball just gets rolled into your room slowly. Which scary movie have you just watched? You haven't finished that essay that's due tomorrow. The fact that I have a 5-page due tomorrow and I haven't started it yet. Footsteps slowly coming down the hall to your room. Late one evening. My landlord, who lived downstairs, had come into my apartment to check on some electrical work in the kitchen. It was a brief visit and we left the front door open. The landlord left after a few minutes and I went straight to bed. A couple of hours later, I was awoken by the sound of rustling in the living room. I remembered how we had left the door open and was afraid someone had gotten in and had just been waiting for their moment. The wood floorboards started creaking as footsteps made their approach to my bedroom. My heart was pounding and my stomach was in my throat. I was trying to figure out how to reach my phone without making a sound. Because maybe if they thought I was asleep, they'd just rob me and go. The footsteps got to my door and there was the sound of heavy panting. I turned to look and met a pair of glowing eyes. I was right. Someone had walked in through the open door. Neither the landlord or I realized that his old German shepherd had come upstairs looking for him while we were in the kitchen. She must have seen her master busy. So she just curled up in my living room and fell asleep. I have never been that terrified or that relieved in my life. I'm happy that this ended without actual harm. I know I would absolutely panic if that happened to me. But then again, I'm extremely paranoid about my safety all the time, so I'd probably be even more scared if I heard this even after having double locked all my doors and windows and shut down for the night. Now that's the stuff of nightmares. Have sauce. Michael here. What if you were to never wake up? I have decided that I want you to die. The sound of my dog or cat starting to make that I am about to vomit noise. Comma right next to your pillow. That itch Kevin and his ducking fireworks. I wanna know the context behind this. The sound of me talking in the next room. For me this is more cringy than scary. Dear God, do I really sound like that? Honey, are you awake? I'd be scared but fine with it. Duck, I'm lonely. Oh hey. You're finally awake. garage door. Open. Happened to me a while back and absolutely freaked me the duck out. I remember my body just freezing. Tell the story please. I wish the story had a satisfying ending for y'all horror lovers. Phone was downstairs, as I had left it on the kitchen table after a night at the bar. I knew I couldn't wait there, so I grabbed my bat in my closet and creeped down the hall. I made it completely obvious that I was in house. I was screaming stuff from the second floor, calling for my little brother to get the gum. Nobody was home, but for some reason I thought it was smart to pretend that I wasn't alone. Ended up running down, opening the front door, and turning on all the lights. Nobody. Went to the kitchen and turned on all the lights. Still no one. My whole house was lit up like a lighthouse. The only place left I hadn't checked was the garage. I went to check out the garage and saw the door was propped open. It was my dog. I guess I forgot to close the door completely, because that little sheep managed to nudge it open from the inside and was going through my favorite shoes. I ended up letting him back in and spoiling him with a treat for scaring the shit out of me. Ahahaha. I had an English Mastiff who had a very distinctive whine when he wasn't being paid enough attention. If I heard that, I'd be pretty spooked since he died 6 years ago. Something being knocked over in the opposite corner of the room. Oh no. There's a cat in our house. A little girl laughing. It has an echo. That's not scary, I would just boot the H. The alarm. The sound of the Yellowstone caldera erupting. 5,000 kilometers away. Target in sight. Going in for the kill. That just sounds exciting.